only state facts here at Melody Reports. Hello everybody, welcome back to another, not a Melody Reports reaction, but a Melody Reports rewind. That's what we're here for, a Melody Reports rewind of 2023. We are here to talk about, this is one of my favorite videos to make in the year. It is my favorites album of the year. Now I was thinking of doing like a top 23 because of 2023. We don't have time for this in the video, so we're gonna do a top 10. If you want to see my full top 23, I'll put it in my description or somewhere on social media. I'll figure it out when I'm editing, but just know this video is dedicated to my something went in my eye, my favorite 10 albums of the year. Now I want to give a disclaimer. I feel like you guys can relate to this. Every few weeks I'm like, ooh, that album's in my top 5 now, or ooh, that's in my top 5, and then the other like top 10 that I chose, I'm like, so where do I put those? So that's how you're gonna see that full list. I feel like today this is where my top 10 stands, my favorite that I will go back to if someone asked me, and here it is. But I just want to say one thing: all these albums left me shook, left me, you know, ascending, buckled up to Bridge City. But I can't just keep saying that, I can't just keep tweeting that. I gotta say it another way. I was about this shook. Yup, these albums left me that shook. Hair is coming down. Okay, so you know the drill here. If you want to get a little taste of each of these albums that I mentioned today, or some of the singles off of it, or my favorite songs from it, you can find it in my 2023 favorites playlist. Down below we have a Spotify and Apple Music playlist. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more reactions coming your way in the new year, ladies and gentlemen. If I haven't reacted to your favorite artist, or you're like, Melody, you got to get on this train quick for this song, for this album, let me know in the comments below. Or you can let me know on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Melody Reports. I'd love to talk there. And thank you so much for showing so much love on all my reactions this year. I love you guys. So enough of me talking, let's get into it. I mean, it wouldn't be a Melody Reports video if there wasn't an awkward transition. So we are here officially to start the top 10. So let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, what is a Barbs? The Barbs Rise. You know, been a Barb since middle school. You know I had to put the queen on here. She's starting off at number 10. Do not clock me, please, with Pink Friday 2. It's a grower, not a shower for me. Please don't come for me, because I saw her tweet where she's like, where would you rank it? I'm sorry, the Pink Print is number 1 for me. But listen, it's growing on me every day. I'm listening to it full through at least 3 times. So, you know, I love this album. I love Nicki. Just, I'm a Barb through and through. But I feel like comparing it to the first Pink Friday is absolutely wrong, because I feel like that solidifies its place itself. Pink Friday 2 is something completely different, a growth you see, and sometimes similarities, like she's jumping back and forth where you're like, oh my god, like that's old Nicki, that's why we fell in love with her. And I just love Pink Friday 2. I think it's one of the best rap albums of the year, and you know she never misses, so she had to come in at number 10. Now let's get into number 9, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of my favorite artists of all time. It is Rauw with her debut album, My 21st Century Blues. Now if you don't know who Rauw is, what are you doing? Are you living under a rock? I don't know what's happening, but she was mentioned in my last year's favorite video for one of my favorite songs of the year, which was Escapism, which I don't think any of us escaped that song, and it was still in my rewind, both of them, Apple and Spotify. This was an incredible body of work, especially for a debut album, you know, from her leaving her label, going indie, and just finally laying it all out there. I loved Rauw when she did her DJ collaborations, whether you like it or not, like Chef's Kiss, what they were, and her solo singles too, like Natalie Don't. Oh my god, one of my favorite songs of all time. But this body of work is such a perfect combination of what you need for a debut album. Lyricism is strong, just musically it is strong. It gives a little bit of everything. You want a pop hit, she got that for you. You want that R&B blues, she got that for you. You want to cry for a second with a slow tempo fucking nostalgic beat, she got that for you too. My 21st Century Blues, it gives a feel of Amy Winehouse, it gives a feel of Adele lyricism, plus with a twist of what we love with Rauw, which is just this girl that's growing in the scene, blowing up, but also leaving it all out there for us to feel. And that's Rauw with My 21st Century Blues. Coming in at number 8. You know, a stan, as I mentioned, like I've been a Barb since middle school. I have been a Paramore fan, ladies and gentlemen. Can't even talk, since middle school. Like oh my god, let's take it back, Melody, let's take it back. Hayley Williams, a queen in my eyes since middle school. Like she is just, I guess, the embodiment of female empowerment, you could say. I don't know, to me she is. Everything suits her, everything matches her, and she is just that girl. I was gonna say another word, but she's just that girl. This is why this album, oh my god, completely different from past Paramore albums in a sense of like if you're stuck on one and just don't want to move on to the next. But I feel like it has a little bit of everything for everyone from whatever era you joined the Paramore fan base. But oh my god, the storytelling in this album is top notch, top tier. The production, love. You'll see in my favorite songs video where Crave ends up. Crave, oh my god, one of the best songs of the year. Figure 8 as well. And when they did like the reissue, or it was like the reimagination Sanity demo, that's a fucking theft to us, a burglary in plain sight, that they didn't put that on the album. I love that song. But yeah, this is why a great strong alternative album. I hope it wins the Grammy. It's what Paramore is, just elevating the game. There you go. Okay, we're back. I was getting tongue-tied. The Paramore one just threw me off the rails. So we're back with number 7. I'm continuing the train of being a middle school stan, still continuing as a 26-year-old to this day. It is Fall Out Boy's album that came out this year. So much for Stardust. Oh my god, the unhealthy amount of replays that I will listen to this on a daily. Like, I think I would listen to this album 5 times a day. Not even joking, when it came out. I loved all the singles, loved all the music videos. They never miss, and you cannot fight me on that. Again, similar to what I said with the Paramore album, whatever era you jumped in for Fall Out Boy, I feel like they have a little bit of something for everyone with this album. I saw them live for the first time this year, and then finally seeing how it kind of translates to the live stage, because, you know, when you listen to an album and it's so attached to you, you're like, please let it be the same or even better live. And that was the case. It was even better live. It blew my mind. These guys, we know Pete Wentz, one of the GOATs in lyricism, his songwriting pen unmatched. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And then Patrick's vocals, come on now. But I just love this album so much. It is unfortunately short, but again, in the alternative field of what we love them for, this is just an album. I feel like it's a renaissance happening. Them, Paramore, I mean, they've always been in the game, but you know what I mean by renaissance? That's how I feel with this album. Love it so much. Coming in at number 6, we're talking about a soundtrack that I feel like touched the world. It is the Barbie official soundtrack. I am obsessed with this album. Obsessed. I was obsessed with Barbie. I've seen it 4 times. I have the Crocs, so I feel like I have an emblem on me right now to be like certified, verified to talk about this. And I'm gonna say this with my full chest open to you. Not like that, but in a sense of the Barbie soundtrack is one of the best movie soundtracks in a hot minute. Like, oh my god, no skips, top to bottom, bottom to top. Love Charlie XCX's song, Dominic Fike's song, Hey Blondie, and I'm just Ken, one of my faves of the year. And you know, Dua Lipa, Dance Tonight, of course, Billie Eilish. It just has a little bit of everything for everyone. So whoever did that, y'all did that, because I haven't loved a soundtrack like that since, honestly, the 50 Shades soundtracks. But I feel like also the Harley Quinn soundtrack ate down a few years ago, but the Barbie soundtrack, chef's kiss. She's that girl. Coming in at number 5, we are entering the top 5. Let's go. It is none other than Troye Sivan with Something to Give Each Other. Now, within the last month, I've dove into this album even deeper, and I love it even more. This was another album, a grower, not a shower. I loved the singles that he released, but like coming off of the other ones, again, I've loved Troye Sivan since his YouTube days. So it was like, overall, for me, it's hard to get into an album like first listen. It's not easy for me. Sometimes I have to revisit it a few weeks, few months later, and I'm like, oh, it's that girl. And this was one of them. Obsessed. Again, the storytelling, gorgeous. The videos, amazing. And I feel like Troye Sivan has really grown into his own with this album. Loved Bloom. And, you know, his debut album too, She Ate. But this one is just like a whole other level for Troye Sivan. And the emotional complexity of this album, to the lyricism and just the pop perfection that it is. I love Something to Give Each Other. Like, so good. I cry to it. I dance to it. That's all you need for a pop album, and that's on period. Coming in at number 4, just like Pink Friday, released on the same day. But when I tell you this had a grip on me, month of December, it is Tate McRae with her album, Think Later. Oh my god, like one of the best pop albums of this year. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the pop world just kind of felt empty in a sense this year. Single wise, not at all, but album wise, I feel like I'm like, where are the girls? Like, what's happening? Taylor Swift in her own lane, ladies and gentlemen. But I feel like, I don't know, this wasn't really like a pop album year for us. I could be wrong, but oh my god, this is Tate's best body of work. She only has two like two full albums. Prefer this way more than the last one, even though the last one was in my top 10 as well. Guilty Conscience, one of the best songs that I've heard in a minute. Everything about it, top to bottom, bottom to top, cannot touch it. She's in her own lane right now. I've seen her live. She's amazing. This album has a little bit of everything for everyone. You want that up-tempo bop? She got that. You want that mid-tempo bop? She got it. You want that slow tempo to cry to that you knew her and love her as? She got that too for you. Plastic Palm Trees, please. Calgary messes me up. I'm on the floor. I'm a tater tot, okay? This was an amazing album. Keep it going, Tate. She ain't stopping. She's doing like every award show, every show, so she ain't stopping. Entering the top 3, you know, I gotta mention him again. He was on my list last year. It's Rauw Alejandro with his album Playa Saturno. I love Saturno. It was one of the best albums to come out. Best Latin albums in a minute. This one, you know, the continuation of that story. I'm just gonna leave it as this. If you loved Bad Bunny's last album, this blows it out of the park. Actually, I'm not gonna say that because people are gonna attack me for it, but I preferred Rauw Alejandro over Bad Bunny. Clock me whatever you want. This is amazing. The bops keep going, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. And his breakup with Rosalia is still hitting me. Coming in at number two, I feel like people are gonna be surprised that this is number 2 for me. It is 1989 TV, the re-recording, my favorite Taylor era, my favorite Taylor album. You know, this was not gonna miss. Now, the reason I put it at number 2 is because we're gonna talk about number 1. And number 1 was a full new album. Number 2, you know, it's just a few re-recordings. So I have to judge it like that. But this, need I say more? The vault tracks left me speechless, left me on the floor. All I gotta say is thank you, Harry Styles. Thank you, Harry Styles, for giving her those stories to tell, because it really messed me up. 1989, we know it's that pure pop perfection album that got her to a whole other universe in her field, and it's just that girl, and top tier. Can't wait for Reputation. I think you would need to put me 6 feet under, because that's how I'm gonna feel. Drum roll please. We are here at number 1. I think I'm one of the few people that would have this as their number 1. Probably a handful of people. This is not a shade to them. I just feel like people are still asleep. I need to get on this album. It is none other than the Jonas Brothers album, The Album. Okay, don't clock me on this. So when I saw this live, I was so hyped to see this album, The Album. Why was I the only person in my section singing it? I don't know what's going on. I don't know how you guys are asleep. I know. The self-titled, a little bit longer, Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. No compare. I'm a Jonas Brothers stan since elementary school. Again, emblem, verified. I can speak about this. But there's something about the album that once it clicked for me, They worked with John Bellion on this album. They worked with Ryan Tedder on this album. I can't remember the other people, but you guys, this is so good. It is so different from the Jonas Brothers. I mean, in a sense that I get why people don't like it, but forget Chasing Happiness? No, that was their documentary. Happiness Begins, please. It's all about the album. The story, I keep repeating myself. The storytelling in this album is unmatched. The songs are so good. You get a little bit of everything. And it's just a whole other playing field for them with this album. Like, it blew my mind. I'm like, they really did that. They ate. If you're a fan of John Bellion, this is basically a continuation of his work. So I loved it so much. Vacation Eyes, Sail Away, Americana, Lil Bird. If you want to start with 4 songs, it's gonna be that. Okay? They did that. Please don't sleep on it. I feel like many years from now, people are gonna be like, oh, this was a great album. And that's all I gotta say. Those are my top albums. Make sure to check out my video for my favorite songs. And of course, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos coming your way. Don't forget to check out my playlist down below. We have a Spotify, Apple Music playlist of these songs that I mentioned below. And of course, if you want to talk to me about anything about this, fight me in the comments or fight me on my social media. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at MelodyReports. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.